Everybody else is talking about this, so might as well throw my hat in the ring. I just want to say before the video starts, do not use this video as an excuse to attack, harass, or bully anybody mentioned in this video. This is simply me wanting to have a productive conversation about something I saw on the internet. Okay, cool. Now, for those of you who may have missed it, there's a lot of buzz on the internet currently about Sombr. And this all started when a woman posted her concert review for him, and it kind of just went downward from there. So let's start there.
I went to go see Sombr Sunday night at the Anthem in DC. If you don't know who Sombr is, he's a 20-year-old artist. He blew up online, I think on TikTok. He has a lot of hits. I like a lot of his music. A lot of people my age like a lot of his music, whatever. I was really excited to go see him. I don't really go to concerts that often unless I really love an artist. I was so excited to see this performance. By far, genuinely the worst concert I've ever been to in my life for a multitude of reasons. But I'm going to explain to you why, if you're over the age of 16, you should not spend your money on a Sombr concert. The only adults in the room are the parents and then my boyfriend and I. It was thousands upon thousands of tweens running around like they were at a middle school dance. First 2 minutes he's on stage, he makes a 6-7 joke. I'm not even kidding you. And all the tweens, I've never had such immediate buyer's remorse in my life. Like, I knew I was just in for 3 hours of nightmare fuel. He proceeds to make a bunch of niche meme references for like the 12 to 16-year-old age range group. And I only understand them because I'm chronically online, but every other adult in the room, including my boyfriend, is like, why is he speaking in tongue? Like, what is he saying right now? And he's like, we're now gonna have the Sombr dating show. Raise your hand and come on up on stage if you wanna call your toxic ex. Make sure it's toxic and make sure there's somebody who's gonna pick up. Again, all the tweens. He would make like super niche references to like 13-year-olds, but then he would also say like super vulgar stuff about like getting his dick sucked. And it was like, so you know your audience is clearly 13, yet here you are. Okay. There was a moment in between songs where he literally just randomly went, bark for me. And you hear the arena of 13, 14, 15-year-old girls start barking. And then immediately followed up with, yeah, I'm daddy. All of that, and he wasn't even a good performer. Genuinely, it sounded bad. Like, he said he had bronchitis. It seemed like that wasn't the only issue going on there. It just doesn't seem like he knows how to entertain. He's maybe too young. Maybe he has to grow into it. I don't know. I had to leave. I had to leave because it was the most egotistical performance I've ever seen in my life. If I had known he was like that, I would never have paid money to see him. It was so embarrassing to witness. Like, he's up there just being like, I'm the shit, and also I'm the shit. And you're like, okay. All right, well, it was like you're trying to convince me that you're like this like crazy cool sex symbol and you're just turning off the whole room.
So I did edit out some parts of that video, but I really wanted to talk about the main critique here. You didn't really miss anything. She just generally talks about how there were a lot of young people there, a lot of people who did not know how to behave in a bar setting, a lot of people who brought parents. And she really felt like she was out of the experience because she was the only adult there, along with her boyfriend and every other parent in the crowd. Now, was she a little brutally honest? Yes. But was this wildly offensive compared to other things you see on the internet? I don't think so. Honestly, I think this was a woman just saying how she really felt, and continuously she said, I like his music, you know, I am a fan. And as someone who is 24 years old, I am just a year younger than her, I do like some of Sombr's music. Would I attend this concert? Absolutely not. And so her posting this video, I think there is some benefit to it. If someone were my age wanting to go see Sombr because his music can appeal to an older audience, and I saw this video, it'd probably make me be like, okay, you know what? I'll pass. So there is some benefit to posting this. And even if there wasn't, she's allowed to have these thoughts, you know, she's allowed to have these feelings. But there were some points here that I absolutely agreed with. She called him egotistical and she called him immature, which I agree with heavily, and we'll get into that later. But after she posted this video, it kicked off an entire trend on the internet to post cringy and honestly very weird moments of Sombr. 6, 7.
Everyone bark for me, please. Thank you. I like that. Sexy. I feel the pain in my dick.
Now, as for the cringy stuff and the 6-7 jokes and the chronically online brain rot jokes, it's fine. You know, would I personally do it? No. but I don't think it's anything like incriminating. This is a younger audience. Sombr is in his early 20s. I mean, he is 20. Young people are stupid. I don't know how else to go about that, which is fine. We've all been there. You know, I've been there. I wasn't always the intellectual master degree haver that you see before you, okay? So that checks out. But the main critique that I take away from this video, and I think just people talking online, is that he's doing a lot of inappropriate things in front of tweens. This is where it becomes kind of an interesting situation for me, because there's times where I don't know where to feel about this. Like, we've had this conversation before. As tween media just disappears from the face of the planet, more tweens and teenagers are engaging in adult content, and so we are having this conversation quite frequently. And while I do agree that an artist shouldn't cater or change themselves due to the off chance that a teenager might engage with their content, I do think it's strange that you continuously do this sort of thing when you know that minors are watching. But I do agree with the argument that artists are not parents. Parents should be parents and should be monitoring what their children are listening to. But in the case of Sombr, if I were an unsuspecting parent, okay, and my child was like, hey, I want to go see Sombr, and I would go listen to his songs, I would say, hey, okay, yeah. Because while I do enjoy his songs are very, tweens would like them. I don't know how else to put that. Tweens would like them. You know, he's a pretty boy singing about love and heartbreak. Teenagers eat that stuff up. What else can I say? And none of it is inherently inappropriate. And so that's kind of false advertising, because like this girl said, just stay on Spotify. Like, you think it's going to be one thing, and then you go to the show and he starts breaking out all of these jokes. As a parent, I'd be like, whoa, that was kind of out of left field. Maybe shouldn't have brought my kid here. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways that argument can branch out. But in the case of Sombr, I do have to side with this lady here, because he posted a response video which just honestly made the entire situation worse.
I thought I was chronically online, but it's just come to my attention that there's a TikTok drama going around because a 25-year-old attended my concert and was basically complaining that there were too many tweens there, I was making too many brain rot jokes, and she just thought it was a cringe concert. And also she was body shaming me, and it's kind of started a massive body shaming hate train directed towards me on a lot of videos of me on the internet right now, which is... I totally respect people having opinions, but I am a 20-year-old artist, freshly 20. And if you're 25 years old and you're going to come to my concert and not expect people younger than you to be there when I, the artist, am 5 years younger than you, it's just a skill issue. Also, like, the jokes thing, like, you had to have known about my online presence before coming to my concert. I mean, anyone who knows me knows I've never uttered a serious word in my life. And also, I make jokes for 5 minutes of the concert, and the rest is music. Like, live a little, enjoy life. Every age, sex, sexuality, gender, race, everyone is welcome at my concert, and I mean everyone.
Except 25.
You guys need to find problematic people to hate on, because I am just existing. Also, I'm just going to give a quick tutorial. Also, I just remembered that I had a fever and bronchitis at the show she went to, but the show goes on. I will not cancel unless I'm on my deathbed.
Okay, so honestly, I was a bit surprised that this video got a response video to begin with. Personally, if I were to receive this kind of video, I would probably just keep scrolling and ignore it, but here we are. There's a couple of interesting things going on in this video, okay? He mentions like, oh, if anybody's familiar with me, then you would know that I'm not serious and I make these brain rot jokes. But not everybody is going to be engaging with you on a personal level. Not everybody going to your concerts is going to know you personally. Not everybody going to your concerts is going to follow you on TikTok. There absolutely can be these people who just know your music and want to go see the music, because that's ultimately what concerts are about. I think here lately we've kind of moved in the parasocial territory where it's like you have to absolutely know everything about this artist. You have to know their absolute every single waking moment to go to their concerts. But that's not true. Ultimately, it's about going and enjoying music. So you don't have to necessarily know everything about that person to want to go to their concert. And it seems like that's what happened to this lady in the video. She just liked his music and then went to go see his music. So that point I don't really think holds any water, because people don't have to know you personally to want to go to your concerts, and that can happen. As for the freshly 20 thing, it's so interesting to me because he's acting like 25 is geriatric, like he's acting like she's chopped and unk, which, by the way, dude, 25 is still Gen Z. 28 is still Gen Z, for your information. And he tried to say, you're 5 years older than me. 5 years is not that old, dude. That's gonna be by in like a split second, trust me. And he's acting like it's impossible for somebody in their mid to late 20s to enjoy his music. But I feel like there's other people her age, including myself, that find his songs enjoyable. And I think that comment really reflects where he is mentally. Like that girl said, he seems very immature. And I think this is ultimately where this is coming from. He still acts like a teenager. He's handling the situation like a teenager. And I think because he's 20, because he is an adult. In the eyes of the government, he is an adult. He is 2 years above the legal age of an adult. But I still think he's adjusting to adulthood. I think he's still mentally a teenager, and I think he's just he's being confronted with being treated like an adult, and I don't think he knows how to handle that. Do I think we are going to see the crash out of the century when this man hits 30? Probably. But I think Sombr is having some immaturity issues, and I don't mean that in a rude way. It's just an observation. I think he's just trying to figure out how to be himself and also be a performer. But does that excuse the things that he's done? No. And honestly, the only thing this video did is prove that he's aware that his demographic is tweens, is young middle school age children. Which goes back to that argument before, where I believe it's different if children going to your shows is kind of an odd case. It's different when the child is kind of the different one in the situation. If an artist appeals to generally adults, I don't think it's up to the artist to cater for that odd chance a child might show up. But in this situation, where an adult is kind of the odd man out, how do you consciously do that? How do you go on stage and look at all of these young faces and then do this kind of thing? Because we could talk about how it's not the artist's responsibility to parent kids, but wouldn't just you as an individual feel weird acting this way in front of kids? Like, how do you not automatically see kids in the crowd and think, hey, what I'm doing right now is kind of weird? And I think that ultimately boils down to him being immature. I think he still thinks he is one of those teenagers, and that doesn't make it right. I don't think he should be doing that, but I think that is just the headspace that he's in. I mean, Lola Young saw a child in the crowd and changed her lyrics just because of that one kid. And heck, I'll take it there. Dan and Phil waited until their audience were mostly in their early to mid-20s to start being more adult-centered in their jokes.
I'm breaking you in, boy.
Oh my god, you're breaking me in. Like a horse.
Yeah, like a horse.
What?
And now I wish they would stop doing it completely. That seems to be the natural reaction. You see kids interacting with what you're doing, and it seems to be an automatic switch, you would think. Hey, I don't want to be weird. There's a kid watching me. I should kind of behave. So yeah, I think he kind of just buried himself deeper with this video because he knows he's doing it. And notice how he didn't address that in this video. He was saying everything else. He wanted to call her old. He wanted to call her unk. He wanted to say that she was out of touch and she should go touch grass and just live a little. But never once did he address the issue, the main issue everybody's talking about, because he's aware of it and actively avoiding the issue. As I said before, I don't think that this lady's post warranted a response video. I think any PR training would tell this dude, like, just leave it. I don't think he is PR trained. But honestly, I think he made a response video because it hurt his ego. Because as that woman said in her video, he is egotistical, and you can just tell. You can tell he gets on stage and does these little cute, quirky things to make the girls scream, and I think he's gotten used to that. He's used to smoozing little teen girls who cry and scream at the mere sight of him, and I think that gave him an ego boost. And so I don't think he can stand it that an actual grown woman said, hey, I don't like you. I think it damaged his ego, and I think that's the entire reason why he posted this video. Listen, dude, you're not all that. I understand that you're a pretty boy and a lot of teenage girls like you, but in the adult world, there's gonna be people who don't like what you do, and that's fine. I like your music and all, but there's a better way to handle the situation. And I also probably have to address the teenagers who will ultimately find this video. I know you think it's cute now. I know you think it's probably quirky, and I know you probably feel big engaging with this sort of thing. And this is not a reflection on you. You know, nobody is saying that this is your fault. You are not to blame here. But when you grow up and you realize that an adult man was behaving this way in front of you, it's gonna feel weird. and that's how everybody else feels about it. So yeah, I think this little boy got his feelings hurt, and that's really ultimately what it comes down to. I think he should stop being weird in front of kids because that's just weird. Hopefully he grows up a little bit, hopefully he gets some PR training, and this will blow over just like anything else, really. And that's honestly all I have to say about the matter. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit like and subscribe to join the Groovy Graveyard. Shout out to my patrons over on Patreon. I guess I should talk about the perks of Patreon for a little bit. You get behind the scenes on a lot of what I'm doing just in life and also in my videos. I give you a lot of exclusive content over there that I don't post on my main channel. I just posted an entire video over there that you can watch. I also have a Discord server that you can go hang out in if you choose to do so. That's also on my Patreon, and you get your name at the end of this video. Any support helps me a lot, even if that is just hitting like and subscribe on this video. And with that, I will see you in the next one.